Hello, everybody, and welcome back to.
You're not afraid.
They can't see me. All right, fine. I'll get closer to the frame. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to the Fandemic Nation podcast. We're your host, Saturn,
Nina.V.
and this is a podcast where we discuss all things fandom culture through a DEI lens. Today's topic is cancel culture, and does it even work? So before we start to take a deep dive, because we all have a lot of opinions around cancel culture, and I'm sure you guys have experienced it with like your faves, or maybe some of you have experienced it yourself. Crazy. Why don't we take a pause and let's talk about what cancel culture even means? So I'm going to pass it to Nina.
So, cancel culture is a cultural phenomenon in which an individual thought to have acted or spoken in an unacceptable manner is ostracized, boycotted, shunned, or fired, often aided by social media.
Nice. So you get the gist. Like that definition encompasses many different ways a person can be canceled, whether it's shunned by the public or actually like fired and unemployed.
No one looks at them the same way ever again.
I know, that's crazy. So now that we discuss like what it is, like we can talk a little bit about examples of cancel culture and if it even works. I'm gonna start. I think it's case by case in terms of like if it even works. And what I mean by that is I notice a lot of the times when someone is being canceled for disrespecting anyone of color, that the consequences aren't as heavy, especially if they're like disrespecting a Black person. When they get canceled, it doesn't really work. They're not really getting canceled. No one's really getting like heavily punished or penalized or shunned for like disrespecting a Black person. And I think, and I'm not saying that it never happens. I'm sure someone has gotten fired for saying the N-word, right? Let's be real. But I think I notice a lot when people, especially like celebrities, have like a track record of like being racist or like being, or like saying remarks or being disrespectful to Black people, there's not any heavy repercussion. Like somehow they still manage to like maintain a strong fandom. And I think that's probably because like anti-Blackness is like a thing that happens globally. And so people are like, well, I mean, I kind of like Black people either. Like, I wouldn't say it out loud, but I understand why they're being like that. And I think that that's what's happening. And I think that's really fucked up. Because I feel like if someone is disrespecting a white person or being harmful to a white person, they're more likely to face some serious like consequences. For example, people who love Chris Brown, they ride hard for him. And I'm not a Chris Brown hater, so Chris Brown fans, calm down. I'm not like tour right now. I know y'all like the tussle. Relax. I'm not hating on Chris Brown. I'm using this as an example because this is what I'm talking about. Like his crimes towards Black women and women of color are criticized. But he is still very successful in selling out tours and being invited to award shows. For example, the example with Jonathan Majors, his crimes against a white woman were taken so heavily. Like he was fired immediately. Hate campaign train was so huge. So like when he got canceled, it was effective. Like, and of course, I'm not saying that there's no one who supports him anymore. I'm just saying like you can see the vast difference in those situations. So I noticed that. And I noticed Black women often are so quick to get canceled for things that other people would like get off the hook. Like some influencers are like, if they're white, they're allowed to like be mean girls. But then if you're a Black girl, you're a mean girl. It's like, we gotta cancel her. We gotta get rid of her. We have to. It's very strange to me. And obviously there are some like outliers, right? I'm not talking general. I'm not generalizing. I noticed like statistically, like if you look at the numbers, like the people who really suffer from like the consequences of cancel culture are usually people who are people of color. But that's not to say that I don't see people who are white being canceled. There are definitely who are being canceled for sure. And I also think that cancel culture is the point of it. I get it. I think it's important for people to be like held accountable. If they're not going to get held accountable by the law, then they're going to get held accountable by their by social media or like their peers. So I do think that there's a purpose to it. Sometimes I think it kind of gets out of hand, and I'll talk about that later. I'll pass the mic to now.
Whew. I want to piggyback off of what you said because literally one of my examples was the Chris Brown situation.
Mm,
It's like all these celebrities, they're so known for what they do. Some people either overlook it, push it in the shadows.
Mm.
But if some kind of controversy comes up, that situation is brought back up again.
mhm,
So it's like, if you knew he did this, that, or like Doja Cat,
mhm,
when she was talking about, oh, I'm not verbatimly speaking this, that, "Oh, I'm just glad that my dad was black because now I got a fat ass," and, like, that's
mhm,
what she's being highlighted for her body and that she's a good artist, and, like, they dug up her past for when she was, like, trolling people on Roblox and some of this stuff, and it's like, "So this is who you, like, envy? Like, the celebrities because they didn't get away with majority of this stuff when they should really be canceled?"
mhm.
And I don't know, like, it's like when they say, all news or all bad news or whatever news is still news.
Yeah, all publicity is good publicity.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
it could be the most shittiest thing in the world, but then something else of them doing good is highlighted more.
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh, they went to Africa to do this for the starving children," but there's like, you were just on his coattail or her coattail about doing something else.
Mhm.
You don't really have control unless, like, everyone be involved.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think it works. You don't think it works? Not as
Mm.
but
Mm.
you can always do stipulations of if it's a black person, if it's a white person, if it's a Hispanic person.
There's so many factors that contribute to whether a person's effectively canceled. It does. Gender plays a role.
Mhm.
Status, like your wealth, plays a role.
Uh,
Their, like you said, their race plays a role. There's so
mhm.
many different reasons why it might be effective and it might not work.
Oh, then there was a third one. This one, still a person of color. Uh, I don't know if he's Korean or you've seen on TikTok Reed Choi.
Mm.
There was a bunch of girls coming forward with a Google file of
Yeah.
all the proof
Mm.
of him giving them chlamydia.
Hmm.
And to this day, I still see his videos. I'm like, no, I don't want to see anything from this creator. So his kids, the whole videos are working. I still see it. He's still getting views. So I'm just like, I'm gonna sit back and do what I do.
Hmm. Interesting. That's crazy.
Ugh, damn, this is a heavy subject.
Oh yeah. I guess we should have gave disclaimers. Disclaimers. There might be some talks of like sexual assault or violence or criminal activity, depending on what a person might have been canceled for and examples that would be used. Sure, I probably should do that earlier. My bad.
We can move something around. Don't worry. My example is probably 10 times worse, but I'm gonna save that for a couple of minutes. But I agree with the both of y'all. I think that cancel culture is very complicated
Yes.
situation. So in terms of my research, one of the articles that I've read was culture being kind of a violation to freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
So if for the listeners out there, if you want to do research of your own, so I looked at debatingmatters.com. There's this article called Cancel Culture is a Threat to Freedom of Speech. And it's just basically, how cancel culture is just a form of bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Form of bullying, cyberbullying. It doesn't matter what your unpopular opinion is or inappropriate viewpoint, you're still going to get canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And it just it talks about how, it's basically just fear and control.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the people, whenever someone is getting canceled, there is like hundreds upon thousands of people backing up a certain person who's doing bad, or if one viewpoint goes viral, then the majority has to jump on it, therefore ganging up on the person being canceled, whether it's for good reasons or bad reasons. And there was a good quote saying, just because someone is discouraged from saying something for fear of other people not liking it, doesn't mean that they're actually banned from saying it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I think it's so funny you say that because I was like thinking about whether or not I wanted to share this opinion on cancel culture out of fear of getting canceled. But I have a similar like connection to that.
Mhm.
There are two thoughts. One, I don't think freedom of speech should allow you the freedom to say hurtful things to another group of people. Like
Right.
freedom of speech shouldn't allow you to be disrespectful to people. Like, and I think if you get canceled for that, you deserve it. Like if you're going out of your way to say harmful, hateful things about someone's body or image or race or ideology or like the way that they identify sexually or like the way they identify their gender, if you're going out of your way to like disrespect them and dehumanize them, then you deserve to get canceled. But
Especially
I
with
do
the
think
intention of hurting someone.
exactly, but I do think that people go too far with the cancel culture. And I do
Mhm.
think that a lot of times it is just bullying. Like I see people can't get canceled and they create these hate campaigns, they create this whole narrative that doesn't even exist from they're from the smallest little interaction and like turn it into something huge and horrible. And there's been so many people who've been like kind of bullied and shunned for literally just being like cringe or like being into something niche or like expressing that they're just a little bit like obscure than from the norm, and people have literally like created these campaigns against them and like have lied or like just making up rumors about them to the point where they have to go off of the internet. And that kind of cancel culture is so toxic. And then what happens is when you do that, then when someone actually needs to get canceled, people don't believe it.
Yeah.
They don't believe it because they're like watching people get shunned off the internet for bullshit and things that aren't even a big deal. That was something is a big deal. They're like, here we go again, overreacting to something. And it's like, no, this is actually something that needs your attention. So I noticed that too. That was a big point to bring up.
Thank you. Bro, get a life. I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, you know. Oh, child, you know. Another viewpoint is from an opinion piece. This is actually from the University of Queensland, which is in Australia. It's an article called "Celebrities Can Be Cancelled, Fandoms Are Forever."
Whoa, get into that. That's like intense. What is that?
You're gonna leave them right here.
That is crazy.
Pull up a chair. So, and it was a good quote that I found too on fandom is deeply rooted in identity and values, and fans are likely to cancel people who violate norms of justice and moral responsibility. As fandoms represent community and comfort, fans are quick to denounce threats of these spaces. But one of the interesting things that I was thinking about when reading it is, does one act demote the art itself or the craft, especially when it comes to celebrities and what they do? Um, so the example that I have, which I'm not sure if this is a good one or going to bring up some huge backlash on my part, but I've been canceled before.
Oh my god.
So the example that I have on is R. Kelly.
Oh, whoa.
The rabbit hole. Just a little bit. Mind you, I don't support R. Kelly. I was never even a fan of his music. The reason why I bring him up is because of his ties to Aaliyah and her first album. So that's why I bring up the question. Like, mind you, this isn't even about R. Kelly. This is about Aaliyah and her legacy and how she's got started. So does one act as in like does her involvement with R. Kelly from her first album demote anything that Aaliyah has done going forward?
I mean, her anniversary just passed. I even
I don't think so. People still rock her like she was walking down the street. I still love back and forth. Like, dang,
that is a good question.
yeah.
I mean, she's really the victim of circumstance there. So, I don't think, even though he has so much connection to like how her album is, produced and released, it's like his actions are not a reflection of her. And I think her fans know that. And so that's why they still like are gonna listen to her and support what she did, what she's doing, because she's not responsible for her actions. But I understand how some people might feel super uncomfortable even listening to that because of that situation.
Yeah.
But I think if you feel uncomfortable, that's okay. You don't have to partake in it. You don't have to listen to it. But you shouldn't judge people who are listening to it, enjoying it, because like her fandom has their reasoning, like, to connect to the music in a certain way that you don't relate to, and she is not him. Like, she didn't do that. Like, like,
Yeah, yeah.
those things are not those things don't really correlate. That's interesting to bring up because it can get really sticky for fandoms. Like,
Absolutely.
it's when you really enjoy something, for example, like, ATEEZ, we love ATEEZ. They made us, um they have a song that G-Eazy was on the remix of, and 18 boycotted it, which I understand completely because like G-Eazy is, doesn't have the best reputation. I don't know a lot about all of his different allegations, but I do know that he is a womanizer and that he has done some, harmful things to women and doesn't really set any other precedent for like respecting and uplifting women. So it's like I totally makes sense that 18-year like, nah, because ATs is kind of the opposite. You know what I mean? So, and they make their fans feel safe and appreciated and loved. So it's like, this is their safe space. And especially if they've learned how to experience similar traumas, that, G-Eazy might have caused to other women. They don't want to enter a safe space to be triggered, right? So I think it's fine they boycotted it. Makes sense to me, but it's like it's fans are so deeply tied into situations around cancel culture. Like, and I know there was a lot of fear at the time that ATs would be canceled for the affiliation, right? But 18, made sure that they did what they could to keep their artists safe and protected from that situation. And I think honestly that is a reflection of fandom power, like how much power fans have. Like I think fans often underestimate how much influence and power they have, especially like if you're like from America or like from Europe. I think over in Asia, they know how much resource they have. They kind of, they're not afraid to push the limit. But here, I think we feel like we're not going to be heard, but it's not true. Like fandoms have a lot of power. They can really push and pull how something is, moves forward, right? So if 18 had decided that that point that 80s was canceled, they would have been canceled, but they didn't. They decided to uplift 80s, but also say we're boycotting that. We're not gonna stream it.
Whew. Well, my DOV as the cosplayer, yeah, it's a 10. Um, it's even strong within this community because I know a highlight of a very popular wig maker. And if you guys ever look up for commissions on cosplay wigs, they are thousands and thousands of dollars. So someone got canceled for sexually harassing other popular cosplayers, streamers, and things like that. And because this wig maker is friends with the so-called sexually harassing cosplayer, they try to cancel them as well, but they still get their bag at the end of the day. So while I was in New York for Anime NYC, I seen a lot more on TikTok of another cosplayer who, like, he's banned from conventions, but he snuck in somehow. Yes, he snuck in whole wheat Pete on TikTok.
Oh, I heard about
He snuck
that.
in because I guess he's very cringe to, if you know Demon Slayer, there's one girl, Nezuko, who turns into a demon, but she's like the 1%. Like, she's OP. He will dress up as the other character that is in love with her and be very cringe, like just in the personal bubble and like
No, respect people's personal space.
all of it. And I think he said some things about SA victims. So it's like, my boy, we don't do that. No. So he snuck in and like people are catching video like, oh, promote your business. Oh, there he is behind us. Yo, why is he here? Why is he this and that? But I guess there are still some people that are on TikTok watching
His content. That's crazy.
so it's like the convention did its part by banning him. I think security did finally come and kind of remove him from the premises. And when you see him behind camera, he's just like, yeah, I guess, like trying to make connections and stuff, but like, you know what you did, my boy. You know.
And not to hold yourself accountable to try to change at all.
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't seen nothing new from him. He got removed from the premises. And we'll see where it goes from there. So that's an update.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this episode is heavy.
People get canceled for some heavy shit, man.
No, but this is what life is. Like, it's heavy, bro. Like, yeah. It has to be talked about.
Mhm.
Whew, you got something to say? Because I don't know. Okay. Yes, I feel your stares and continuing the
I talk a lot,
conversation.
so I have lots to say, but I'm like, let me give some space for other people to talk.
Okay. Well, there was one thing that you said, Saturn, that I also down to. When is too much in terms of cancel culture?
Yes.
And especially when it comes down to being canceled for something so small, it's not murdering someone, it's not, sexually assaulting someone. It's just literally just
Your opinion.
your opinion or your life that's got nothing to do with anybody else's. And the reason why I bring that up is in terms of the K-pop culture.
Woo! Scary.
Yep. And we've seen this happen a lot. And I feel like it's just like in the past year or two, it's becoming more frequent in the fandom.
You have a girlfriend? Cancel.
Yup. Do you have a girlfriend? Canceled. If you
Oh my
smoke
God.
tobacco, canceled. Go to the club, canceled. Like
Sorry.
it's a lot. And there is just throughout the years, especially of how long we've been into K-pop, there are tons upon tons of examples. So I just want to not only mention the definition of the K-pop cancel culture, but just give a quick example and something very recent as well.
Mhm.
So in terms of K-pop cancel culture refers to fans withdrawing support for idols involved in scandals or controversial behavior, leading to public shunning, boycotts, loss of endorsements, and removal from projects, often amplified by social media.
Mm.
And the recent example that I wanted to bring up was something that happened probably like 2 years ago, which is the K-pop order Rise and the member Saman. Yes, I'm bringing up that topic because I think and it's not just the cancel part. I think it's just the escalation after and the fact that this boy can just like not get a break whatsoever. So just a quick oversight. In his training period before he even became an idol, he had a life as well other people have. um and like when it comes to being a K-pop idol, it's just this image portrayed to the public that you have to be like face first, no kind of like scandal in terms of your career, but now just in terms of before your career, you had to have and maintain a certain image to the public. It almost feels like when you're a K-pop fan, K-pop idol, that the fans own you. Sometime he had a girlfriend, allegedly during his training period. There might even be some cigarette smoking in that time. But the label, SM Entertainment, uh, removed him and put him on a temporary hiatus for a couple months. And not only, I think, was it 2 days when he came back from his hiatus, the label, SM Entertainment, terminated his contract because it just seems like the fans would not let it go that he had a relationship,
A girlfriend? Cancel.
prior to being a K-pop idol. Like,
Oh my God.
and we've seen this countless of times. It's not just him. It's just a recent example, but the backlash on the fandom itself, like the fans retaliated in bringing death wreaths in front of SM Entertainment, and death wreaths are usually in terms of when a person actually dies and you're at the funeral. Those are the wreaths that are put out.
So they're saying like he's dead to us.
Yes, the fans are literally saying that he's dead to us. And there are TikToks, a video on the internet, the Korean society dancing in front of these reefs. Like there are a whole bunch of messages on these reefs of how apparently Sunghan has shamed everyone or himself. And it escalated so quickly and it just didn't make any sense.
He must have been missing something. I need a shot. No way. No way. Like, you had a girlfriend, you smoked a cigarette, and they want you dead, but they say you're dead to me. Like, you might as well. Like, you just want to be a singer. You just want to hit the stage, do a little two-step. That's crazy.
Yeah. And again, this is just one of the plenty examples. While this was going on, Jessie was getting canceled for something that wasn't even her fault.
We're not breaking up a fight between two grown men.
Exactly. Like, why is it her fault? But anyway, then what was it? I think when trying to look, no, I don't want to get into it, but because that's literally opening up a can of worms. But more examples of when Hyuna and Dawn wanted to make their relationship public, their label literally terminated their contract. What else? There's a whole bunch of examples on it.
It's probably too many. It's too many.
It's too many to count.
Something
really.
that I really want to talk about, I think, is like the real beef that I have with cancel culture. I think is like it doesn't allow space to grow, become better as an individual. It's like canceling. It just means like you're done, like it's over. Like pack it up, go seclude somewhere into a little bubble. You don't deserve anything but that loneliness and that little bubble. Like get out of our face. And I think that some people do need that. Like some people, they do deserve that. Like our president. But anyways,
He
some
did this
people-
before days.
like obviously, like some people are not being canceled hard enough, in my opinion. The president of the United States, whose name I won't say because I don't want to trigger people listening, wore tidy hair in his fucking name every day. But there are a lot of people who don't deserve that. Like they deserve a chance to work on themselves and be better. And I feel like the world doesn't really get better, especially with issues involving like race, any kind of discrimination against someone's sexual orientation or something. Like if you really want those things to get better, that means the people who are fucked up need to improve. Like if they don't improve, and it's just like we hate them and they hate us, then we just stay like this forever. Like it's only until people are allowed to improve and get better and learn from their mistakes and have and turn around and actually apply themselves to advocate for people and stand up for people to really, because apologies are bullshit, by the way. I'm not a person who's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry I did that. And so, okay, guys, forgive them. No. Like apologies require action steps. Like you have to actually do things to the person that you discriminated against or to the public in a way that shows them that you actually do understand that you need to face some kind of consequence and that you understand the impact of your actions. If you're not doing that, then, fuck you, I guess. But if we're not allowing people to actually do that work, then what's the point?
Bro, but it's the same people who don't think they do anything. They don't see anything wrong with them.
Yeah.
They don't see that they're at fault for what they did. They don't understand the reason and why they're getting the consequence for what they said or done. They're like, but so-and-so said I did it. But I'm talking about you, my boy.
What you said.
Well, you don't get me time.
Yeah, no, for real. I actually hate that.
These are the cases you guys should know about. Judge Judy.
But yeah, we need to think about what the objective of cancel culture is. Do you want the person to get better or do you just want them to perish? It depends on where you really lie there. Do you really want people to get better? And do you want society to get better at like respecting people and like being open-minded? Or do you just like want these people to like stop talking and just go hide the box? And it depends. Like, hey, everybody's each his own, I guess. I personally would prefer for people to have some growth. I think I have great morale and I think I believe in humanities and have empathy, but I know for a fact that I need to improve on things. And there are things that I've done in the past that could be offensive to someone else. So I become a public figure, so we can dig that up and create a narrative about me that showcases to me that I don't resonate with, based off of some things that I might have done that are problematic, and that's not fair to me. Like I should be able to showcase that I am not that person, or not even anymore. I was never that person. You've created a narrative based off of something inappropriate that I've done. And if it is a reflection of who I used to be, like you said, I'm not that person anymore. Like, I used to get in a lot of fights. Somebody might bring that up and be like, she's a bully. But actually, I was a bully. I was a person who was bullied who was defending themselves, right? So, like, I don't think violence is the answer anymore. But then I was a little different. But I have the right to showcase to people that I've changed as a person. I feel like everybody not everybody, that's lying. I feel like a lot of people deserve that chance to like showcase that they're working on themselves to be better.
We would love that. I feel like when people touch the internet, we want them to show their moral part, like, oh, you're putting yourself on this stage or pedestal and you're showing us what kind of person you are. And then when they make a mistake, they're like, so this is who you really were. Like, this is what you thought of everything. Oh, so I feel like in the moment, in the betrayal of that, they're just like, this is what the real is you. We want you on an island, the Bermuda Triangle. This is something about your thoughts. We'll never find you again. Damn. My boy was 21 at the time, yo. He was drinking. Like, I don't think there's any going there.
Yeah.
We would love to think that there's a moral piece in with, yeah, he's grown. He's sorry. But I feel like they should just be like, no, now, shut it down.
You don't think we're, as a society, ready to like take that step and to give people a little bit of time, even for grace? You don't think society is?
I don't think they do it. I don't think they do it.
Yeah, like, I agree with that. I don't think that they do it either.
We're giving Nina the eye.
And running while we got quiet is going to look at you. We're looking right at Nina. She keeps saying all these great things, and now we're putting pressure on her.
I agree with both of y'all.
Nailed it.
No, I do agree with the both of y'all.
Any closing remarks?
Again, cancel culture is a very just complicated topic, and I think it's just very judge and jury.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like for a person to get canceled where the offense was very minor. I think there should be definitely a reflection period after the fact. Mm-hmm. But then I also feel like this society is not going to do anything about it, though. Mm-hmm. I feel like there is no immediate action that's going to happen to cancel culture going forward. And so people are just going to do what they want. And we're just, not even a small percentage of the population, but half of a ant or something. So like, I mean, we're just like the rest of everybody, just giving our own opinions. But with the way the world is, it's not going to be any type of action anytime soon.
So to answer the question that the topic is on, do you think cancel culture is working? Yes or no? It's a no, it's not working.
I am neutral.
I say no. I think it's not distributed in a way that's even and measurable. I think if it was measurable, if we knew exactly what we meant when we were going to cancel someone, if we all agree like cancel means X, Y, Z, to boycott or to like not support, that's fine, but it's different depending on the person and the situation. Yeah. And so it makes it a little bit of a mess. And the fandom is a huge part, because if your fandom is strict, then they might all agree to boycott you for smoking a cigarette. But if your fandom is not so strict, they might sell out your tours even though you were an abuser. So you never know. Really depends on the fandom. So for that, I would say it does not work. But yeah, heavy topic. Sorry guys, we got to keep it a buck over here. We got to talk about all things fandom culture. We did all things. That's right.
The weight is off our shoulders.
Well, hopefully next time I'll come back with a topic a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun. Let us know in the comments what you think. Do you think cancel culture is working? Yes or no, and why? And share some examples of like things that you've seen in terms of like cancel culture. Have you experienced it yourself? Have your faves experienced it? Have you been a part of the cancel culture, or have you always hated it? I would love to know. But we will catch you on the next one, and that is all for now. So thanks for listening. We have been your hosts, Saturn, Nina.V, and June. Chat with you next time. See you later, freaks and geeks. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, or whatever the fuck they do, y'all. Holler.